The Royal Mile is the only place in the country that combines top thrilling roller coasters and rides with relaxation. Daytime meets nighttime when you put on your dancing shoes. Spooky ghosts roam the haunted house and take flight on a Spitfire. Splish Splash! And new for 1960 is the wonderfully cheesy Cheese Chase roller coaster. What a pure delight the Royal Mile is.
Yeah, but it ain't Disney though, is it? Hiya you guys, welcome to 1960 and welcome to the Royal Mile. So if you are finding us for the first time, firstly, welcome aboard. Where have you been? We've been having a party without you. It's not quite the same. But we're in Planet Coaster. We're building a park through the ages rather than building a park in the modern day and building its history around it. So the original park was in 1930. That's on the workshop. I'll pop this one on there as well because it's 1960. You can compare and see how the park has changed over the years. We're developing it into a fully fledged theme park given that we started as a garden attraction. So we've got 60 years worth of history ahead of us. There's plenty of opportunity to come and join the fun. So, you know, either stay for the tour, don't stay for the tour, stay for the series, don't stay for the series. It's up to you, whatever. We're here regardless. So this is where we're starting. This is the entrance, and it was put in 1955. This took so long to pull together, but I love it. It was so worth it. Like, yes. Just the intricacies of Art Deco of the day is just incredible to work with. And I mean, am I perfect at it? No, absolutely not. But does it do what it needs to do? Yes, 100%. Look at it. Yes, 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 yes. And whether you are new to the series or whether you have joined us for the first time, this is going to be a view of the park that you guys have never seen before. You normally see it from the top or from low down angles, but never actually at guest view. We're actually going to find out if the park's any good. I'm a bit scared. But yeah, this is the view that we get from the entrance of the park. So before we go down there, let's actually have a look at what we've got in the main cafe. We've not touched this since 1930. It's still very Art Deco 1930 in style. It's becoming quite classical. I think it's probably about time for a refit in here actually. But hey, I love it. Like, it's so cool. So as I said, the Royal Mile started as a garden park. This is one of the original buildings that would have been here. So we now have 4 roller coasters in the park in 1960 for us to go and explore and have a look at. We started off with the first Woodie and then the most recent one being the Wooden Wild Mouse. So the main attraction of the original garden park was this. It was the railway, and this circles the entire park. There's 3 stations. There's this one, there's the one up by the woods, and then there's one over by the Lido. So I reckon we go and have a look. Now, I don't know which way to go because there's just so much to go and explore. I reckon we're going to go this way, right? So let's go and have a look down here because we've got many, many, many little viewpoints that you can go and see. So this is one of them. That's not actually that much of a good viewpoint, is it? Let's not go down there. So we're going to come up this way onto the main railway bridge, and there you go. There's your first view of the full-on park. Yeah. Okay, so let's carry on this way. If we go down to the left-hand side now, you'll walk along the side of the river, as you can see. Not the river, sorry, the pond. You'll walk down the side of the pond. You've got the boats and stuff that you can go on, and then that'll eventually bring you out at where the Flying Turns is currently. That's all about to change. So we're going to walk this way, because this is the part of the park that is the most recently developed into a theme park. This bridge is original. It's always been here. It's always followed the railway line. And then this area that we're looking at now was originally just an open area with tennis courts and all that sort of stuff in here, but over the years it was made into an actual theme park. But by the time that we were actually designing this, there was no theme as such. Theming wasn't a thing. Disney wasn't a thing. It was just all about rides, being in a space, a little bit like Dreamland in Margate. It's kind of that style. So this is where this style comes from. So you've got the Hurricane over here, which is our Monte Leone. Hello, Monte Leone. And then we come through this way, and you've got the Tilt-A-Whirl. I still love that sign. I made that sign. I'm so chuffed. I'm so proud of that sign. Look. Whee! Oh man, the series is weird. And then we've just got games and stuff that are all dotted around. So wanted this idea of having a proper 1930s, well, actually, these were put in after the war, so this would have been 1940s, early 1950s, but they were all like games units and stuff. And then we come in through this way, and you've got just a lookout point to the other side of the lake, and you can see all of the stuff that was there from the original park. And we're going to keep coming along this way, and then we have Monster. So that is our spider rider, or I don't know what they're called, Rocktopus in game. Love it. So cool. More games, and then we've got this monstrosity of a building. And we talk about the design of the buildings and stuff when we do the series. So if you do want to go back and know the history, then feel free to go and do that. We're just literally showing around the park for now. We've got a chair swing, so of course you're gonna have a chair swing. It's quintessential to all old parks. And then you've got what did I call this? The Bluebird. So, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because this was all about. This was put in when Bluebird broke the land speed record. So it's a wooden-based car ride, same as the one over in America. I forget the name of the park, and I'm too deep into the recording to go and look. Please tell me in the comments which one it was. But if I come up this way, you'll be able to see the actual ride. So if we go up here. There we go. There it is from the top. So it fits so nicely into the scenery and everything around it, by the way. All the scenery, all the flowers and whatever. It looks so good. Like, it looks good from the top, right? But it looks so good now. Then we have got an arcade. So games and everything became a thing in the late 40s. So I just put in some arcadey type stuff. So we've got the games units, game stalls. We've got a full-on arcade in here. There we go. Again, this is all this would be in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. This doesn't need to be any more than this. Just games in a room. Happy days. Then we've got ourselves this restaurant. This is such a monstrosity, but now I've come back to it. Oh, guys, I love it. Like, yes, look at it. Look. It's, just admiring my own work. Cringe. And then this is the view that you get from the balcony of the rest of the area. So really digging it. Love it. So we're going to come back through this way because we have our first roller coaster. There we go. So this was the first one we actually put into the park. We didn't give it a name in the end. I think it probably is going to end up being Big Dipper. I haven't forgotten to do it. I just haven't done it. There are suggestions on the original video as I requested. I promise, I will put it to the vote. Reason that I've not done it yet is because I'm actually filming 3 or 4 episodes, sometimes 5 episodes in advance. I'm actually struggling to remember what was here in 1960 because I already know what's coming over the next 4, 5, 6 episodes. So I will do it eventually, I promise. So if we come through this way, this is the station for the Woodie. There we go. There is the station for the Woodie, and it's that very classical 1930s sort of input. 36, I think this was 36, 39. It was the late 30s anyway. No, it couldn't have been 39 because that's when the war was. So it would have been the whenever. It's the 30s. I knew this was going to happen. I thought. Anyway, this is the station. Should we go for a ride? Because great content. Oh yeah, you guys, proper classic Woodie vibes. And I mean, it's not supposed to be tall or fast or steep, it's just supposed to be old, and it just has that vibe. It's 1930s engineering for the win, it really is. It's probably one of those coasters that's going to last right until the modern day, and it's going to be like listed and stuff because it's just so classic. Oh, yes, I love it. And then this is the view of the rest of the area, and I mean, spoiler alert, nothing much changes in this area, just a few like modernization pieces, because this would have been put together in the late 40s and we're starting to enter into the 70s. We need to update some stuff, but yeah, it's nothing particularly massive that changes yet. There are changes planned for the future, but that's many years to come yet. So we come into this area. This is the LIDO area. So the LIDO, by the way, a LIDO is pretty much a British or a European term for outdoor swimming pool. It's not a water park. And I know that like this sometimes confuses non-European, non-British people. Lidos are not water parks. They are. Can I go through the wall? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Am I going to mess with the camera? Because I've got umbrellas there and they don't like Tegid Gam. So, sorry. The whole idea of an outdoor swimming pool is it's just that. It's an outdoor swimming pool. So this is an area that would have been revamped in the 40s as part of the upgrade piece post-war. We'll go and take a look at the Lido in a sec, but I just wanted to put game stalls and stuff in here. So the design is slightly different to the original ones down the bottom, and that's by design. I wanted this area to feel different. But then this area started to have loads and loads of rides packed into it, right? So we've got the Ferris wheel that's sitting behind there. Then you've got the Dodgems, and then you've got the Whirlo plane, or whatever they're called, the whirly Ferris wheel thing there. And then if we come around this way, we then have the Wild Mouse. Hello! This was originally the go-karts, and the go-karts were installed in 1930, is when the park originally opened, but actually they fell out of favour, and you ended up having Cheese Chase. If you remember back to the episode, yeah, so we put this wooden Wild Mouse in, and it was supposed to compete with the Blackpool Pleasure Beach wooden Wild Mouse, and it does that. It's a wild ride. And now I've come back to this. I really wasn't sure about this when I first put it in. I was a little bit like, do I like it? Don't I like it? And that's partly because I was fighting with the scale of the game and fighting with the game itself, and then fighting with the on-ride camera and how it delivers the cars, and you can't make it block section. There were just loads of flaws with the actual coaster type, and I was like, I don't think I'm bought into this. But now I'm looking back at it. In 1960, I actually quite dig it. Yes. And I'm glad I swapped out that fence. That's something I was kicking myself of doing. Even like when the episode went out, that this original fence here, I changed it right at the last minute. And when I sort of look back at the episode, I sort of regretted it. But now I'm looking at it. No, that was the right thing to do. Yes, Chacho. Well done. you done good, mate. So let's have a look at the station. We kept it really simple in here. It didn't need to be any more than this because it's an open station. So remembering that the POV of this ride is complete trash, we're going to go for a ride. See you in a minute. Oh, it's a wild mouse. Do you know what? Given the constraints that the game has with these coaster types, I'm actually quite chuffed with how it turned out. I really did pretty much hate on it when I first released it. I didn't really know it was no. But I take it all back. You're forgiven. It's all good. So, we're going to take a look at the Lido in a second. That's just behind us. But first I wanted to show around the rest of the area here. So, we're going to start with the Blue Lagoon Cafe. This is the original cafe that was set up for the Lido. This is still in 5 episodes' time. I don't think I've done anything to it. I mean, I don't know why I'm implying that I don't know, because my memory is pretty good. It doesn't change. It's still going to be there. And then you got Slider. So this is the Swift Drifters that we've got. And this is, again, it's one of those attractions, just like Kennywood, where it's probably still around nowadays in 2023. And they can't really get rid of it because it forms part of the park's history. It's had a couple of facelifts over the time. And this is its second iteration of an image. Same building and stuff, but it's now got colour and whatever. So... yeah, there's Cheese Chase. So we're going to come back this way. The Ferris wheel was also originally in 1930. So this is original. I did say at some point it was going to move, and it was going to move more towards like the edge of the quay, but it's still there. It's still in its original position. We've not needed to move it yet. But nestled in amongst all of this mess is our Lido, the Blue Lagoon Lido. So when this was first put in 1930, it was just a grey concrete building. And I mean, it was the rough concrete. It was thrown up. And then after the war, they did a load of touching up to it, and they made it Art Deco style. And this is what we came up with. Oh, I love how this looks. The facelift is night and day. So different. And it just turned out so well. And then we come through here and we go into the changing rooms. It's a typical changing rooms. There is nothing special about these changing rooms, but this is exactly as they would be in 1960. And this park, by the way, has taken so much research to pull together, because building stuff from the through time in 1930s, 40s, 50s, you have to do everything exactly as it was in that moment in time. It's not like building it in 2023 and building the history around it, and you can go, well, okay, it's 23, it's been retrofitted a few times, there's a few things that have and haven't changed. No, you actually have to build it like it was in that time and then go back and change it. I've made a proper rod for my back. It's a proper admin burden. It really is. But this is the Lido, and this is how a Lido would have looked in 1960. I dig it. And I mean, I don't know what the life shelf of Lidos actually are. They do still exist here in the UK, but I'm not entirely sure how long it would exist for. Its days are numbered, or at least part of its days are numbered. So this is what we had in 1930, and then after the war we put these bad boys in. Hello my friends, we've got dolphin friends. So you're probably sitting here with your 2023 head on, thinking this would not fly from an animal welfare perspective, and you are absolutely correct. This, in 2023, is not acceptable to keep dolphins like this. But in 1940, when they were first put in, but 1960, this is perfectly acceptable. Can you believe? It wasn't until the late 90s, or the mid-90s, we actually had tank welfare laws. That's how long we can go on for. I'm not okay with it, but we got dolphins and we got shows. That's what I'm trying to get at. So then if we come down the stairs this way and then come through here, we've got our relocated children's pool. Proper dangerous, like proper dangerous. Like, how are the kids going to get out of? No, but it's there. It's acceptable in the 60s. And then we're going to come up this way. Can I go this way? Yeah, it's going to let me. There we go. We come into the boat ride. So it's not usable in-game because the in-game one, the Armada, is way too big for this space. So I actually put it in as a facsimile of a boat ride rather than a boat ride. I have since, however, seen pictures and videos from Battersea Park, and it turns out I could have used the Hop the Gaps roller coaster and then a couple of triggered effects to make it an early log flume, and I am kicking myself that I didn't know that in advance. I wish I knew then. So if we can just please have an F in the chat for the log flume that never was. Thanks. But coming through this way, this is the sort of views that you get from the lake then. There's the ballroom. We're going to go see the ballroom. There's the haunted house. And the flying turns, guys. Still in. Don't get attached. And so we're going to come back through this way. Back up the stairs. Back through the Lido. There we go. There we go, there we go. Let me come back through here. Back out to the monstrosity that is the Dodgems, because we're going to go and have a look at our friend Bob. Who? Who's Bob? Who's Bob? Well, that's Cheese Chase. Cheese Chase. There's Bob. There he is in the background. So our our homage that we've got to the Bob in Bellevue Park here in Manchester. Well, it's here in Manchester. I'm not in Manchester. Here in the UK, in Manchester. These things actually are still around. There's a couple over in America, but they are famously dangerous coasters. Like, I don't know how they didn't injure more people, and I have no idea how they never tore themselves apart. These coasters were way ahead of their time. Like, the engineering prowess of these coasters is incredible. When you research them, wow, I just don't even know how they were pulled together. But hey, it is what it is. They existed. These days are numbered as well. But I don't know what's replacing it yet. But they are numbered. However, this was the first time we did in the park like proper intricate details on stuff. And this is the station building. And I love this station building. I haven't got a heart to tear it apart. I really don't. I don't want to get rid of it. Like, just no. But hey. It's fine. I love these like little details that I put in and stuff, like the sign, and it just came together so nicely. I so nearly scrapped it when I was designing it, and I was just like, no, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to build for the bin, basically. So I was going to finish it and then bin it. And actually, when I finished it, it turned out it was all right. So we're going to have a look at the station in a moment. What I wanted to do, though, come into the cafe that we've got here. So it's actually not that much of a special space, but this is the view that you get from here. Oh, yes. I mean, the station's in the way, but yes, you get some awesome views of the lake from different parts of the park. Right, so back to Bob. Let's go and have a look at the queue. Here we go. So we've got the queue line. We've got a bit of a cattle pen going on over here. That's actually quite a big cattle pen when you're down on the peak level, actually. But then we come through this way and up through this way, and then you walk alongside the track. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then you walk eventually into the station. There it is. There's the station with all of our signs, you know, like the belongings and just blah, blah, blah. Yes. Love it. Right, train's here. Let's go for a ride. See what I mean? I have got no idea how these things never used to tear themselves apart. Like, engineering for the win, seriously. Another look at the lake and the roof of the cafe, but no, lake that way. And we're back away. So I actually did this area to be the side of a LIDO. Now, I did have these grand ideas of continuing this pathway all along this way and then meeting up over here. I've since put stuff in the park that you can't see yet that changes that. So that's all I'm going to say on that. You'll have to keep watching the series to know what on earth I'm talking about. Actually, no, you're still not going to know what I'm talking about because I never make sense. So we're going to carry on walking this way. Lupo Plain is in. Its days are numbered. It is still in at the moment, but it's very on a kill list. Very, very on a kill list. So yes, don't get attached to that. And then we come back through this way. This is the back end of the station area for the wooded area. But we're going to come through this way. Guys, I had to tear this bridge out. You'll see why. And I miss it. I do miss it. I really miss it, actually. Like, it's a stupid thing to miss, but this is the sort of view that you used to get. Sorry, guys, you're not going to get that anymore. Enjoy it in this episode. But this is the wooded area, so we've got lots of gravel path going on. This is supposed to feel like it's a bit unkempt, it's a bit out there, it's a bit like unloved. This is the wooded area of the park, so they were trying to keep it as natural as possible, and the way we achieve that is by using the gravel from TMTK items. I think is Hydro behind it. It's either Hydro or Mango. I can never remember who did what, so apologies guys if I get that bit wrong. Up that way then you've got a thingy plane. This is a test flight, isn't it, in game. Just sat there, just rotting away, just there. It does get some TLC in a future episode, by the way, so it does stay for now. And then we're going to come through this way. We have the ice cream parlour, or the ice cream bar, very western-y type oriented building. And then inside here, it's nice and simple, but still very 30s, you know, the whole purple colours and stuff going on. But this is what we're here for, because we are coming up through... This is so difficult to do because this area is so different in the future. Like, I was about to also give all sorts of stuff. Like, if you've already watched the preview episode, you already know that this sightline is completely different, and it threw me for a second because I was like, oh, hang on a minute, I've got to do all of that. But no, it's still a playground for now. Because we're here, Spitfire. Here it is. It's our Flying Turns coaster. So the Flying Turns put in, they were very, very awesome coasters. They were incredible coasters back in the 30s. They didn't have long shelf life, though, unfortunately. The modern day version over at Knoebels, that's right, isn't it? Knoebels, is doing well for itself. It took ages to build, and it's based on the original designs, but it's still around. However, the original ones that were put in the 30s, they have a very limited shelf life. They're prone to fires. All I'll say. Oh, hang on, I need to show you the station building, because this station building, oh, it took forever, and I've just torn it out of the park. And that's why I'm so attached to the Bob station, because I've already said goodbye to one station. But the idea is I wanted this to feel like it was a bit of a garden-y type structure, you know, gazebo or pagoda or whatever you want to call it, and I managed to achieve that really, really nicely. Like, I love this station. I didn't completely tear it out. It's in the park, but I have no use for it elsewhere, so it's a shame. It's a shame. But you can see all the lattice work, and then the lattice work it's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needed to be representative of what I wanted it to be. But yeah, it's this whole winter garden-y type effect that we've got going on in here, and the slats on the roof and all of that sort of stuff. It is perfect. I love it. Yes. So this is the station then. I reckon as the train is here, we go for a ride. I'm going to miss it. That's all I'm going to say. So we're going to come back around this way because we are now starting to enter the part of the park that really, truly is changing the face of theme parks. Now, before we do that, let's just take a look at the lake from this side. This is a lovely vista that you get from here. Awesome view of the three coasters that you've got over on the other side of the lake, and of course this was the whole gardeny part of the of the park. But as you can see in the background, there's a big building that we need to go and investigate. So let's go do that. Let's come through this way through. Hello mate, that's Steve by the way. We're just going to come through here because when this was put in, Disney became a thing. So we were pretty much competing with Disney by this point. Now, we're not trying to be Disney. No one can be Disney. No one can match that. But what we were doing was trying to up our game and compete with Disney. That's what we're trying to do. But we did that in the state of a haunted house. So this is kind of like a cheap haunted house because it was put in 1950 something. So the technology for haunted houses wasn't really there, but it's still better than the haunted house you would have got from the 40s because Disney now did a thing. So we're going to walk through the queue line this way. And then you keep going around that way, and it's sort of like snakes. Oh, guys, seriously, the sight line here is so different. It throws me every time I see it. It's like, where's it gone? So you snake away through the graveyards and stuff, and through the side of the house, and eventually you come back down this way, and then you come through into here, and then into the station, and then you just get the first looks at the station. I'm not going to go into depth. We saw that in the episode, but we are going to go for a ride. Remember though that this is 1960. Music on rides wasn't a thing unless you were Disney. So you've just got sounds, and those sounds are a bit jank. See you in a minute. Bates Motel, that's all I'm gonna say. I love it. Like, this is gonna be one of those attractions that will still be around in 2023. I don't know what's gonna be inside. I don't know how the outside is gonna look. It's probably gonna get a few modernization and touch-up pieces, but ultimately this house will still be there, sitting pretty over the lake in 2023. At least that's my plan right now. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I love it. It's so good. So we now need to go and have a look at probably the oldest part of the park, the stuff that was completely here when the park first started. I've got to be so careful here, by the way, because these umbrellas are death for Tegid Cam. They really are. There's a gap there. So this site was set up so that you could look out over the vista and you could see all of the lake. Back in the early days, these trees weren't so grown. You would have seen right out to the lake, and then the gardens and stuff behind it, but nowadays it's a theme park, so, and the trees have grown, so it's a little bit obscured. It's exactly as it would be in 1960, and it's perfect. I love it. And this view is just going to keep changing as we keep swapping out attractions and stuff hits the kill list and not hit and gets added. And yes, I've got plans, by the way, for something that's going to be so obtuse. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off, but it's going to be so obtuse. It's like nauseating. It's vomit inducing. You guys are going to go, Chacho, what have you done? What have you done? But for now, let's look inside here. This is the classic ballroom. This is still as it was, untouched from 1930. And it's lovely. I'm so chuffed with how this is. There's our band. They've been playing for 30 years. Without a break, by the way. They deserve a break. And then through here, we do still have our changing rooms and stuff. Again, I've not done anything in here. It does need either tearing out and destroying, as in it's still here, but it's fallen into disrepair, or it needs modernising. I don't really know what I'm going to do with the inside of here yet. All I know is that the ballroom needs to stay. It would be one of those things that is listed. So we'll need to keep it, but we can do stuff with the inside. I just don't know what that stuff is yet. I've got an idea. It's a pretty big space, actually. It's a fairly big space. You could put some decent stuff in here. Watch this space. Quite literally, watch this space. So that's the ballroom. And then this is like where you wouldn't have a ticket office in here, but this is where the ticket office would be. And then we come out this way, and we're nearly at the front end of the park, where you've got our retro shops and stuff here. And then this is like a little plaza, gardeny type area. And then there's the original train station from the front entrance of the park that we were at. And then this is just another bridge that goes across. This bridge is still here, by the way. This is still around. But I just wanted to come up here to show you the view of the lake from here. This is pretty decent view. There's our Woodie. Hello, Woodie. And then we're going to come back down this way. We're going to have a look at these shops, because I haven't done the inside of these yet. And I think I need to redevelop this area. I think it needs redeveloping. But inside here is our gift shop. So this is untouched from 1930. We're selling really random stuff. Really not time-sensitive stuff either. It's like, no, that wouldn't have been around in the 30s, but I needed to put something in here, so we're good. And then we come up through this way. I still love the inside of this one. Yes, I love the bar. Look at the bar. So good. I love it. I love it. But this one's our soda shop, and then this one is our sweet shop. Not so much in love with this one. It's a bit bland. Hey, it's fine. And then these are this is the top end of the park. I think it's stuff that's in here. That's what I'm going to say. I'm like, do I tell you? Don't I tell you? No, just watch the series and you'll find out. And then inside here you've got toilets, Chacho toilets. All of the toilets look like this inside, by the way. That's why this is the first time I'm showing you. Then the Vista view. That's the restaurant, and then we're going to come back around this way, because there's the whole park again, and then inside there is the restaurant, and we're back at the entrance. Hurrah! There's our carousel, and there's the back end of our main entrance. Now there is a car park. I'm not going to bother taking you down there, but ultimately it lives down that way. I had to do loads of research on how proper nerdy stuff, how 1930s, 40s and 50s road signs looked, and all of that sort of stuff. So we've got those in, and the Beletian beakers and whatever are all true to the time period. But yeah, guys, this is the Royal Mile in 1960. What do you reckon? Next one in 1990, just as it kicks off for the third theme park revolution? I reckon so. Thank you so much for getting to the end of the video, guys. Really do appreciate it. As always, please show your love. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Come along for the ride. See the rest of the park. Whatever. I don't mind. We're here either way. So, thank you. See you guys. Take care. Bye.